Sullivan.
I want to ask you this question that I've been asking everyone from literally rock and roll legends to some of my friends that have been on the podcast that are musicians, and this is a very like important questions in the time that we are living in. Geez, I can't believe I said in the time we're living in, but in the time that we're living in, yeah, it's an important question. I really want to know your opinion about it, and do you utilize this? And what I'm talking about is AI, the way that it's been impacting music, and what I'm seeing is, maybe this is happening only with older artists that are kind of, finding themselves without the muse anymore or whatever. I'm finding some of my friends are being honest with me, and they're telling me that they're utilizing AI for songwriting, and I'm so critical of that. I go crazy. I'm like, no, songwriting should be this divine intervention, but then maybe I'm missing something. So what do you feel about AI? And I just want to share a quick story with you. This is like super quick. What really scared me is that there are these AI bands out there now, right? So basically, every character is AI created. They have a story, a background, they have their own style, whatever, whatever. So there was a story with this one music consumer driving the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and he heard a song on, whatever, XM radio, whatever. Then he looked up this band. He found out that the band was AI, but he said, I didn't care. And that's what scared me is that the music sounded so good to this consumer that he said, I don't care at the end of the day if it's AI, if it's not. So my question is, how do you feel AI will impact the music scene nowadays? Do you utilize it for anything at all as far as music goes? And how do you feel about artists actually using it for such things as songwriters? I know it's a loaded question, but take your time.
So I actually had a unprompted, it almost sounded like a drunken rant, but I was entirely sober. An entirely unprompted rant against AI with my dad on the aforementioned road trip.
Nice.
And he was just sitting there listening to it because he had no other choice. But I do not support AI. I don't use it. I don't like, you see all the Facebook reels and Instagram reels and TikToks and stuff that are AI generated, and it makes it, honestly, and this is going to sound dramatic, it makes me sick. I hate it so much. I'm friends with a bunch of creatives. I have, one of my very good friends is a photographer and an artist. She doesn't even do like digital art, not because she's against it, but like she's a hand pencil to the paper artist, and the crazy stuff that she does with her hands. And it's gorgeous. And she and I will go on these horrible long rants against AI, because it's not just bad for the environment and your mental capacity for understanding things. It's bad for pretty much every element of the world and your person and your concept of reality. Never mind the copyright issues that come with the music aspect of it. And I mean, I remember at the beginning I thought it was kind of funny, when it was still very obviously AI. But then I have this friend, he's actually one of my drummers, who sends me incessantly the AI covers of other songs, where it's like, oh, we took Enter Sandman and we made it a funk song, and they sound so smooth and so real. And I was like, I remember when postmodern jukebox first got really popular, right? And they would, oh, let's take this song and make it sound like it's from the 50s. And that was such a huge thing because no one had thought of that before. And even if they had thought about it, they had to think about, well, how am I going to do it? And now you just take your phone and you go on Chat GPT or whatever. I don't know which one they use specifically for the music ones. But you go and you're like, oh, take this song and make it 50s. And like, a couple minutes later, you have this thing that before people were having to spend hours, days, weeks, months reconfiguring, trying to figure out and perfect. And I just feel like it takes the soul out of
Yes.
music, out of art, out of comedy, out of
Hmm.
anything that makes life worth living. If
Hmm.
AI was being used appropriately, in my opinion, it would be used in it would be perfected and be used in the medical field, in construction, in other sorts of fields. You'd program a computer with AI to clean a bathroom. The jobs that people don't want to do, that would allow people to actually do the stuff that they want to do.
Yeah.
If my dishwasher could tell me when it's full and run itself and then start unloading itself, we'd be set. But instead, I have
Yeah.
to do that, and instead, the computer is trying to write my next top song. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't agree with that. I think that's completely out of order. And I honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to make any enemies, but I
Mhm.
honestly think anyone who's using it for their music and saying, "Oh, I wrote this," needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror at themselves and think about the implications of what they're doing
Mhm.
and whether or not they can go to sleep at night. And if they can, good for them, but I can't because you're doing it. That's just sorry. That's my soapbox, and that's my hot button.
Nah, listen, I agree with you on every single point you made, and I've been super critical about it ever since this whole thing. I just want to tell you that you would be shocked at some of the artists that are using it. Like you would
Yeah.
never think that people would do that. And just on the copyright note,
Mhm.
quickly, I want to say because on the other podcast that I host, Prove to Me that You're Live, we were honored and privileged to have I don't know if you heard about the story, the OpenAI whistleblower Suchir Balaji that got killed. Because he was one of the developers of OpenAI, and he was trying to reveal something to the world, and then oops, a setup murder, whatever they called it, him unaliving himself, and his parents, that they've been so brave, they've been pushing his mission. They're out there, you can check them out, Mr. and Mrs. Balaji. But the point, just to add on to what you were saying, is because I didn't even realize this, is because the Suchir's mother told me that the way it works is like, back in the day, not too long ago, your song, your material, whatever, if it's on Google, if it's somewhere, you still have some sort of a copyright on it. The way it works with AI is they take a Haley Azell song, they feed it through AI, it chops it up, does whatever it does, and it comes out as something else while it's a part of your creation, and you no
Mhm.
longer get any sort of copyright for it. So all you artists out there, please understand, and this is the last thing that I'm going to say about it, is I made videos about it, I talked about it, and I appreciate what you said. Is I think that ultimately it will end up sucking the soul out of the creative process, because the creative process, to me at least, has always been like this divine intervention. You're looking for the spark, you have the feeling, you plug in the source somewhere, it comes to you and comes out. And even when we get writer's block, man, it's always been a natural process. So you got to love your writer's block, man. So that's all I'm going to say about it.